First of all, I wanted to apologize to the people who were looking for another part to this carburetor assembly video talking about the linkage. To be honest, I put the carbs back on the car and it ran so great that I just drove it for a while. So the important things to remember when you're putting the linkage back together again is to keep the two sides for each carburetor completely in parallel. So back here you have these little clamps on the throttle shaft. They are parallel to each other in this plane, and they are actually directly perpendicular to the front face of the carburetor. So it looks like it's kind of slanted on the car, but that's because the whole carburetor body is leaned back. The same is true with the enrichment clamps. They are both just parallel to each other, and they can only really go one place because they interface with the plate on the end of the enrichment mechanism. The only other real consideration is the distance that the throttle, that part of the throttle linkage is away from the choke. And as long as you can get full opening and full closing of the throttle blades, mine honestly probably has a couple millimeters of a gap there, and that's probably all you need. So I don't know if this helps anybody. I don't know if this is useful, but I promised it, and feel bad for it taking this long. One very important thing as you're tuning your carburetors is to make sure that you swap out any and all set screw adjustment nuts with these springs. It will take you a fraction of the time to tune your carburetors, and I have not had any issue with the springs making the screws come loose or not staying as well as the nuts. It works perfectly with the springs, and it is way, way easier to adjust your carbs. So if you have not already done so, throw away those set nuts and get yourself a set of springs. If there's any other questions that you guys have about these SU HIF carburetors, I'll do my best to answer them. I'm nothing close to an expert, but I definitely know a whole lot more than I did before I took these things completely apart and assembled them all back together again. So go ahead and leave a comment below, and I'll do my best to give you answers to your questions. Thanks for watching.